ghostly haunting since time began. Raw side paranormal seeks the truth, looking for some kind of real proof. Creaky floorboards and eerie dark mist. Grab your camera and document this. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the wrong side. A flaming door causes a fright. A shadow hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. The icy air touches your neck. You feel like screaming, but you stay in check. All's rising up to take the magical flight. You can't believe what's happening tonight. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side.
Yes, Raw Side Wednesday here, guys. Welcome to the Raw Side. How is everybody doing tonight? Hello, hello. Let's see who's come to hang out with us on this Wednesday. Miss Betty, she's first. She gets the cookie. Yeah, there's a Victoria Darkwood. Hello, how you doing, Susan? Hello, Janice. Welcome, welcome. Let's see who else has come to hang with us. Hang with us. Janice says, I'm ready. I've never been on any kind of investigation, but this community has really helped me understand a lot. I am so glad that I was accepted, and even for the chats, the friends, and so much information. You are so welcome, sweetie. Just because you've never been on an investigation doesn't mean that you can't explore the paranormal like the rest of us. There she is, Miss Leanne. She's lurking in the darkness. Be involved, no lurking. No, the lurkers are welcomed. Bill, are you here, Bill? There's Bill. Hello, hello. A Bristol Kiwi. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody, and also welcome in the lurkers. Just a heads up, guy, no camera tonight because I am in horrific pain. And I didn't want to cancel on you guys. So even though it doesn't sound like it, I'm doing the radio thing, guys. I'm trucking along. This show must go on. I want to change it up a little bit tonight. Normally you hear us guys on these channels and on these shows telling you about our experiences and what we know. Hello, Sir Ryan. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think we should do in the paranormal to improve our investigations, improve what we do on our investigations. Any comments or questions that you might want to have or been wanting to ask? I'm throwing the floor to you guys. What do you think about the paranormal field today as it is? And what do you think about how and what direction the paranormal is heading in? Is that too much for you guys? Is it an overload? I don't mean to overload. But we always hear, you always hear from us. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. How's Ryan doing? I hope Ryan is well. Have the storm subsided, Ryan? We still have storms going on here. That's why I feel really bad. I'm waiting for medicine to kick in. So hopefully it will, and it won't be so bad. So yeah, I didn't want to be on camera because I'm going to be doing a lot of fidgeting. I'm very, very uncomfortable. So come on, guys, hit me up. What do you think? What do you think? We should do. Give us your advice. Just because you don't, or the most of you don't go out on investigations, but you guys have done your research. You hit us up with a lot of questions. You know a lot of information. Hello, Sage. How's it going, Sage? Are you okay, Sage? Everything's safe over there? I think it has become an entertainment industry and isn't taken seriously by most people. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Both on YouTube and off. A lot of people say that, the paranormal field is totally different off of YouTube land. But when you go to all of these meet and greets and stuff, it's all fanfare and flash. Be lurking cat on my arm. Oh, that's okay, Betty. I agree with you. I think that, it's more entertainment now than seriousness. And I love it when we've got teams like APRF who are taking it serious. They're moving forward. They're trying to make it better, more interesting. They're digging for that truth that we are searching for. Again, another one like Ryan. Ryan is stuck to his guns, stuck to the way he's done things, because he's still doing the same thing, looking for the truth. Yep, just Smokey. Oh my goodness. Be safe, stay indoors. Doing good. No more storms for now. I've been some more places. Had a few interesting things at the Witch's Tree and the woods and the abandoned almhouse. Was a good one. Looking forward to seeing that. Actually, I had a good time with you. I wasn't trying to take over your live, Ryan, when I did what I did. You were using the Spirit app, and I figured, you know what? I wonder if I turn mine on and let it hear you and interact with you, if it would come up with the same thing that you were coming up on yours. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Definitely a pretty interesting test. Because I stayed here very quiet, let it hear you speak, because it was right next to the speaker, and it come up with some pretty good stuff. So that's kind of fun. Hey, Jay, welcome in. Very good evening, Dolores. Sorry, didn't know you were live. Just started. So yeah, you know how YouTube is. You get the notification the next day. They're right on the ball. They're keeping it going. Yeah, I was thinking, well, geez, I just really don't feel well. The pain is because it's the weather. The weather's making the pain flare up. I go, but no, I don't want to cancel. I want to do the show. So I thought that was a great experiment, Ryan, to test the app. It would have blew my mind if we came up with the exact same thing on the screen. That would have blew my mind. He says, true, Sage. Nope, Laura, I loved it. It's interesting to try everything. You never know what will happen. Exactly. Actually, it would be really fun. If you ever do it again, I'm going to turn it on again. But when you're there and you're out and about and somebody's with you, I would see what happens when you run two of them together and see if it pairs up with one another. I think that would be an interesting experiment to see if it would run in tandem with each other, or are you going to get totally different responses off of the same application? It was very interesting. Got Thomas, and he was buried there and found that small grave stuck in the tree, and it said baby. It was very interesting. Yeah, oh, I forgot. It's on my phone. The list. I thought it was very, very interesting. And it just hit me. I'm like, oh, wait, let me turn mine on, because I've done that testing where I've turned the application on and never said a word. And I'll be sitting here doing like miniature stuff, and I'm just letting it do its thing. and it just started spewing out some really interesting stuff. That was the past couple times. It pretty much acknowledged that I was ignoring it and I wasn't communicating with it, and then it got mad and told me to go F myself. So, and it did it twice. I was trying to figure out what the cycle was of the word bank. If there was, how long it would take before it started recycling responses. And to be honest with you, it really didn't recycle much. Each time that I did the test, it was running for a long time, and I wasn't getting the same things over and over. I think it only did it twice, but I right now I had to look at the notes, but I thought that was interesting. And I like it when people start thinking outside of the box and testing these things to see what you're actually going to end up with. Yeah, the FU was funny. I never had that either. I never had that either. So I think it got mad at me. It's like, well, this bitch ain't talking to me, so F her. But I just wanted to see how the responses would come out when you didn't interact with it and you just let it do its own thing. And it was pretty cool. Saying how I enjoyed, that I was visiting with it, and it was just some really, I don't know, it's just strange responses, but then I wasn't interacting. So then I must have got mad and said F you. I'm thinking, well, geez, how rude. How rude. The weather here has just really sucked. I haven't been able to get out, go anywhere. I'm not doing this stuff in the rain. Last thing I need is to get sick again. So, yeah, I've been waiting for it to dry out so I can do something. I wanted to go back to a couple of the last cemeteries that I went with where I picked up some EVP work. I wanted to run through there again and let the recorder run in the old section. And then I also wanted to put out the bell just for shits and giggles to see if anything would interact with it. And as soon as it dries out, I'll make the trip. It's just ridiculous here. And we're supposed to have rain all night. And I'm supposed to stop tomorrow. So hopefully it'll come to a stop, and then things will dry out and I can get out and do a little filming and a little recording and see what happens. But I mean, what is your opinion, guys, about techniques? Do you think that what is ways that people doing investigation could brush up on their techniques and their styles? And what would you like to have them do? What would you like to see them do while on investigations? There's a question for you. See, now it's my turn to ask you guys the questions. Because not for nothing, you are a big part of the community. You have a lot of great ideas and some great input. And a lot of times you guys don't get to share any of that because it's usually that is the question. Definitely the question. Don't be shy. Throw them out there. I do love the way that people are becoming more open with what they're doing, sharing a little bit more. I think that's, a bonus. I did see actually today, I haven't had a chance to look it up. Apparently there's a new SLS program that's out, and I've got to look into that. I just don't understand why they keep going with that technology. I think it would be awesome if it actually did work. But you and I know that, oh yeah, it's just mapping out what it's in what's in its spectrum there, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's mapping that out. It's not giving you what you think it's giving you. If there's a way that it could, that would just be freaking awesome. That would be totally awesome. Everybody's shy. Come on, guys. You know you've got some input. Let us have it. Let us have it. Ryan, if you want to come up on screen, you can come on up on screen if you want. Hey, Parasolo, welcome on. Hello, hello. I've kind of turned the tables on everybody, Parasolo. I'm asking you guys for input, asking what you think that investigators should do to change up the game here. Victoria says, I strongly feel that you don't need expensive equipment labeled ghost hunting. I don't believe it either. I mean, I'm not telling you not to use it, but there you go, Susan. Back to the roots, you know? I know that Susan is a big advocate for using yourself as a tool. As am I. I always trust my gut. I always go with my gut. Your gut never lets you down, you know? But unfortunately, that you can't collect data doing that way. So, but it's but you don't need the expensive equipment either. You know, sorry, ghost hunting stores. You really don't. Basic bare essentials to record what you're looking for. You as well, Susan. If you want to come on up, let me know. I'll send you the link. I'm curious about the dowsing rounds and how they actually work. Experiment with electrons. Oh, with electronics. Yes, yes. I do think we should experiment. Janice, I'm working on that, to be honest. Because actually, Bill has a pair, but he didn't bring them out. He must have forgot, and he didn't play around. I keep forgetting. I'm going to ask my father actually tomorrow if he's got copper wiring that I can make a pair, and I'm going to see if it works out in the yard. I'm going to, and hopefully I can get filming it while I'm doing it. I want to see if because I mean there's a pool, so if it doesn't pick up water out there, I mean I don't know. But I definitely want to play around with it. I've never used them, and I want to try them out. Jay says, me personally, I think everyone should stop using devices. No proof whatsoever that they work. Put up static cams and leave them to record. See, it's great. You guys all have your own personal ideas on what investigators should do and how to change it up. And it's a good idea. Just let the camera record, do its thing. I did that once actually in my own house because I always, follow the rule, don't investigate in my own house. But I have all kinds of stuff that happens here. And I did one time set up a camera for night filming, and unfortunately, it didn't work out so great. I'm going to have to do adjustments. It was too dark. I'm going to have to put some kind of lighting in there, and I'll have to try it again. Now here, like last night when I was on doing the miniatures, and I was talking to you guys, I kept catching something out of the corner of my eye here in the studio, and I don't know what the hell was going on, but sorry I had to step away for a few minutes. I would like to see new experiments, and I have been reading old articles from the late 19th and early 20th centuries and see what was tried then. Yeah, exactly. And look up Ryan's awesome when it comes to the history on stuff like that. I mean, I have tidbits from here and there from doing research on articles for the magazine, but to see actually what did they do, how did they do it, and what was the data that they collected. Hey, Cynthia, welcome in. I'm just waiting for someone to try to bring in haunted ships. I'm really surprised no one has tried it yet. Give it some time. Give it some time. Hey, there's Tim. Hey, Chaos, how's it going? I flipped the table on the audience there, Tim. I'm asking you guys, what do you think investigators should do to bring change and improvement upon investigations in the paranormal? There's Steph. Hello, Steph. It may or may not have been me streaking by your window. That's probably what. If you could streak past my window, you are one tall lady. The studio's on the second floor, so if I caught you in the window last night, I don't know, unless you were on your broom. And you had it on silent running. I want to take both bands, AM and FM antennas, out of a couple of my old spirit boxes. My older SB7, I want to do that with and use the silent mode after completed, but I have other plans to try it out. That is going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. So, how's Tim tonight? Just let me, if anybody wants to come up, let me know. Just let me know. I'll post the link. And you can add your input and knowledge to the channel, to the show. I may or may not have been on someone's shoulders. Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, damn, you're pretty tall. And then when you get up there, you're going to see there's going to be a fan in your face because I got a fan in the window. Oh, you're doing good. Just relaxing after work. You relax, sir. Hopefully it wasn't too bad of a day. I didn't do too bad today. It was, caught up on some sleep. But when I woke up, it was miserable, horrific pain. So yeah, I'm waiting for some medicine to kick in. As soon as this rain stops, and I can't even go in the pool because it's thunderstorms. I don't want to get lit up, floating around in the pool. New experiments need to be thought of because what we have now isn't proving anything, unfortunately. And I agree with you. We're getting very limited results on what everybody's doing. So see, this is good. You guys got to get it out there because not for nothing, teams that are going out, like, all right, you got Tim, he's going to go out. He might take of what some of you are saying and put it into practice on his next investigation just to see how that works out. Oh, you got storms too? Yeah, I think pretty much the majority of us do. It's a big storm just working its way through. We've had rain all freaking day. Hey, Steve. I was thinking about you, Steve, today. What's Steve up to? I've turned the tables, Steve, on the audience tonight. I'm asking everybody in chat what they think investigators should do to improve on investigations. And Steve is a well of information. And if anybody wants to come up, let me know. I will post the link so you guys can join in. And that's one of the things. Steve is an advocate of that change, searching out new ways to collect data. And it's just awesome. Laura, do you use a portal box? Experimenting with pedals is a good idea too. I don't have one of those. I really don't have any of that kind of stuff. I have an old radio that I will turn on sometimes. But as far as anything, it's just cameras, audio stuff. I have a regular front desk bell that I bought just because, and I've gotten nothing off of that. But as far as the rest of it, no, I don't have any of that stuff. But if I did, I would, I'd try it just because. Why not? And there you go. Steve, study, research, and prep. Explain the explainable. And there you go. There you go. And a lot of people don't do the research where, like you got people like, Steve, Ryan, you get out there. Tim, his wife is, the big, huge researcher, which is awesome. Learn proper investigative techniques. You're getting a lot of the new people that come on board and they just go with what they've watched. Oh, well, we can do this, but they don't do, like you said, they don't learn, they don't research. I just feel like everyone copies everyone on YouTube. It's always Spirit Talker REM pod cat balls, which mean nothing. It needs to be a little bit more scientific. Yes, yes, yes. Laura, can you ring my bell anytime? Woohoo! I should get it out. Ring it. Ding ding. Experimenting is amazing, but we need to lock down techniques. Well said. Well said, sir. It is well said. Actually, let me do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna put that in there, and then I'm gonna pin it. So, like I said, if you guys, one of you want to pop in and put in your 2 cents, you are more than welcome. It's and also people have asked me about doing a round table, like what Jeff and Dana did, which I thought went awesome. I might do it. I might put together a few people. Actually, Steve and Tim, I was thinking about having you guys on as well. When we'll do it, I don't know. I'll have to see if I can squeeze it in somewhere. I mean, just a debunker. I'm just a debunker, but what I do, I know. Well, no, I mean, also, I mean, you've done your own investigating. So you're out there, you're learning, and you admit that you're new and you're learning. So yeah, it's and you got to debunk as you go. I mean, that just goes with it. Experimenting is great if you knew what exactly you're doing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Tim says yes, roundtable. All right. I'll have to see. We'll have to do it on a night that, yeah, because I would really like to have Steve on. So we'll have to see if I can line up some people and then see if everybody can get the dates together, and we'll see what we can do. Do a roundtable and get those questions out there. Hello, Cree. How are you doing tonight, honey? I will say this until anyone scientific can show me what they are talking about. I don't care how people investigate. So that's Cree's big question: is what are they talking about when they're saying scientific? That is pretty much what you're trying to find out, right, Cree? I do believe that everybody has their own idea of what a scientific method is. And I think that Wes and Lisa from APRF, I think they're headed in the right direction. Environment is a big thing when it comes to the paranormal field. It affects everything. So that is a scientific beginning of determining and picking apart the environment and the surrounding areas. Hello, Sir Joe. If you want to come up there, Joe, I've got the link pinned. You could join in if you want. How's Joe tonight? Let's see. I can't help but wonder if different people, different energies affect the way things happen or manifest around them. That and what's going on with their lives. I mean, if people are in a depressive state or if it's a hormonal state, that is a big thing. I know that some people got, bent out of shape when I did the show with Joe about women and hormonal changes in the paranormal. I think it has a lot to do with it. I really do. I have dowsing rods, but I don't believe in holding them. I think they should have something else holding them, like a couple of hollow pipes, and you set them down. The only problem with that is I believe that the energy from your body makes them work. And I've proven that with pendulum work. Pendulums don't work unless it has contact with the body. I've done testing with that, and when I've had it on a stand and let the pendulum ride, nothing. But I've taken my finger and then just touched the chain that's connected to the stone, the pendulum itself, then there was interaction. So see, like I said, I have never worked with dowsing rods. I'm going to get some, either make them or get some, and I'm going to play around with it and see. I mean, they've used them for centuries to find water and other things. So there's got to be something to it. There just has to be. Chris says, yes, everyone talks doing it scientifically, but no one person can show me or tell me what that looks like. Well, you've watched Wes and Lisa Cree. That's a scientific method where they are collecting data of the environment in a location. But here's the thing: no matter, even if we show the science of it, some will be like BS or it's fake or the other way, where they rub the scientific part in your faces. Yeah, see, a lot of people have their own opinion on how to go about it. Hello, Ian. How are you? White lab coats and safety glasses. Yeah, there you go. That's the whole thing. I've got this, so if anybody needs a lab coat, I've got a couple extra. If just started doing an investigation where you tell someone to start. So you want something, I get you. A lot of you are saying you would like to have somebody go through the whole thing step by step, which would be awesome. The first initial walkthrough and what investigators do on that walkthrough, because I've never seen anybody do that. Actually go through the initial walkthrough, the testing they do of the environment, and then the setup of the equipment. And then a lot of people, well, it's boring, it makes it long, but I really think everybody wants to see that. Can different energies manifest to each individual, like how it presents itself? The skeptics talk about it, but I have yet to see one debunker investigate any differently than anyone else. The scientific method is basically collect data, repeatability. Yes, yeah, you're right. That's pretty much what it is. But I think that's what she's getting. She wants to see it step by step. And hopefully somebody will, I mean, Wes and Lisa are hitting it tidbit here and there, but I think what Cree is looking for is actually somebody showing her, teaching her how it's done step by step and what they are collecting. I think that's what she's looking for. Just somebody explaining it really isn't working, because she's admitted she doesn't have that scientific mind. She doesn't understand it. So that's what she wants to see. Isn't it a problem, though, if you don't know exactly what you're experimenting on? How can you truly experiment on it? It just means you end up going around in circles. If you, that's the kick in the face. Let's see. Repeatability is pretty much impossible because paranormal activity seems to happen random without notice. That's the problem too. Or you go through all of that. I mean, Joe, it's happened to Joe. It's happened to all of us. You shut the cameras off, you shut the recorders off, and what happens? Something happens, and all the stuff is off. So then you just have to write it down as another personal experience. Steph says, I'm a dowsing rod holder. I feel if there was energy, whether a human is holding it or not, dowsing rods should be able to pick up energy and move if they are as mystical as they say they are. Good point, Steph. Good point. But if they're anything like the pendulum, like I said, they're going to need that energy to feed off of. Just like apparently, like we're thinking that any entity that's out there is feeding off of the energy from the equipment or from the individuals themselves. They're drawing from that energy so that they can manifest or do something. I go back to Reality Remix did doing with sounds. He made mistakes, but he was trying something new, and so many people come down on him for how what he was doing, but he tried. Yeah, you can't kick somebody down when they're trying. And that's why I always leave the what if door open. And some people look at me like I'm nuts. Well, no, come on. They break your chops about it. You can't, because just like we were just saying, we don't know what we're looking for. We don't know what that is. We've had our our personal experiences. So we're going on what we know and trying to run with it. We are assuming that what we're interacting with is energy, because what the hell else is it going to be? I mean, honestly, what else is it? So we have to have somewhere to start, and we're starting with what we know and what we've learned from the past, assuming that we're dealing with energy. I go back to, let's see. We need to split screen it, like I said, one side on the screen, one on the chip on the other side of us, doing the method as we debunk. Need to do that. Yeah, we have to. And people want to see it. Bottom line, step by step, they want to see it. Like Joe would say, "Oh, it's boring. Nobody wants to watch that." I don't believe that, because like Cree herself is saying that she wants to see it to understand it, because just explaining it, still some people just can't wrap their heads around it. Just said, I promise you guys, we'll see the process in the future. Videos may not be immediately, but it's coming. So there you go. See, Joe is willing to accommodate the public. Exactly, Laura. I'm not against doing investigations scientifically, but if we don't all do it the same, it can be done. It can't be done properly because everyone does it differently. Well, everybody would have a different approach to it, but I think they would come up with the same results, Cree. Especially when we're just starting out with the environment. That is the scientific part of it, the environment. You're testing it, you're collecting that data. A lot of us can't afford that fancy equipment. That's why Friday House and other friends of HIP are collaborating to try to come up with something that would be reasonable for investigators to use to measure the environment the best that we can. Pick up things that we're missing. Obviously, we're missing something. I mean, I do believe we are missing something. There's something out there and we're missing it. So we have to find, that's the mystery. We've got to figure out the mystery. But also what makes it hard to do showing step by step is the size of the location, the amount of time. Yes, again, yep. The time that you have. Most of the time, everybody's on a time limit, which really stinks. Maybe you have to add on an extra person just to film all of that extra stuff, seeing that you're on a time crunch, which I think would be a good, just that one specific person. All right. The minute we get there and start walking through, you start filming so everybody can see. I mean, it makes it longer for editing. I know that really blows, but I do enjoy, and I know everybody else enjoys it too, when we do get to see that background stuff going on, what you guys were doing, how it was done. Hi, Becky. How's it going? Welcome in. So definitely, I do think it's a plus. Well, if I can hear or see something move, like footsteps or bangs, or or curtain or article of clothing move, then it should be enough energy to move the rods. You would think, yeah, you would think. I got some strange guy keep coming in my studio, bearing gifts. Let's see. I do split screen. Hell, I do 4-way split screen, sometimes 6. So yes, I mean, and Joel really puts it out there. I mean, the equipment. Oh my God. But yeah, he's lucky enough to have that. I mean, it's taken years for him to collect all of that. And he promises he's going to put it out so we can see. I do love it when you can see all of that behind the scenes, because they're like, oh wow, this is what what was the testing that they did, how do they? I mean, they might say things, but you want to see that testing. You want to see, okay, did they check wind speed in the room, level of the building, is there live electrical on the property or in the property, all of that. Anybody that's serious about finding out the stuff, these are the things that we want to see. I do not have a science brain, but I am great with visual. You can't keep saying do it in a certain way and not have an idea of what That way, even as exactly create. Yeah. A lot of people are visual learners. So that kind of going towards that type of technique, showing people along the way is a big help. Lord Beagle, welcome in. Let's see. We need to get rid of the cat balls, spirit talkers, necrometers, all of that stuff. It's just a slap in the face to real investigation. I'm not a fan of the cat balls. I honestly have to say that. The flashlight thing, no. Come on. I mean, no. But as far as, oh, you're talking about like the applications and stuff, Tim. But see, I had that freaky thing happen with that one app. So I leave the what if door open. I don't know. I plan on redoing that again at that location when I can get back there and see if it happens again. Then come on, there's something up with that. Otherwise, just leave the what if door open. Hello, Ace. How is Ace tonight? I'm sorry. Every time I see I see the Ace, I think of that old commercial for Ace Hardware. Ace is the place for that. That goes through my head. Sorry. But there's scientific evidence that we can show people, but also we need consider common sense too. Yes. Well, common sense is number one. Number one on the docket. I mean, I think that is a big problem nowadays. There is a huge lack of common sense. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but it's the truth. Come on. It is a big problem. And like I said, anybody that's going to be doing it all on YouTube, I get it's fun. Let's do this. And we'll get big channels and all these views. Well, of course you're right, because it's the thrill seekers and the people who aren't serious. The ones of us that put it on here is because we're trying to educate ourselves, educate others that don't know. We're trying to find out information and we're sharing it in a community, in multiple communities. So when the other ones come along and they're just doing it for the entertainment, that kind of puts a little bit of a wrench in the deal. Sad to say. I can't stick around for too long here soon, but I'm going to be live over on Paranormal Research Unit channel. It's actually funny that you guys are talking about this. And we have a guy and something new. Oh, nice. Nice. I didn't know that they were going on. See, I Wednesday's always been my night, so I never check the schedule for Wednesday. So if anybody does their thing on Wednesday, I'm sorry. I've been doing Wednesday nights at 7 for 2 years. The only time I change it is when I have a UK guest. Then I got to move it up some so that they're not up till, oh God, ungodly hours at night. But definitely going to have to check that out. Since we have the ability to carry police cams now, we can. I've said that, Lord Beagle. I have said that. Why aren't people wearing body cams? And not on the front, on the back. Because you already have the camera in front. You're holding it. Wear a camera on your back so that you could see. Because, normally if something's going on and somebody's like, oh, shit, what was that behind me? That's what we're missing. That is what you're missing. Put the body cams on and document what's going on the back end. I am totally for that, Lord Beagle. So that's why I don't understand the YouTube. You need the energy of the human body to make the rods work. Spirits should see that. It's easy to move those if they want to make contact. I mean, if you tell them, you think, yes, Steph, you would think. But what I'm thinking is, do they need our energy to go through using our energy to manipulate things, to make things move? See, there's another question. If you see things like you said, everybody has an experience like, oh, I was in this room and a book went flying across the room. Are they taking energy from us and our equipment to make that book fly across the room? This is questions that I ask. something just doesn't happen because of nothing. It takes energy. Everything takes that energy. So is that what they're doing? I have yet to find an investigation Joe does as boring. No, I love all of Joe's stuff. We love our Joe. He thinks things through and explains things and surprises me that I not thought or didn't realize is true. Exactly. Joe is an open book when it comes to it. He's very good, very professional, and he explains to the fullest of the extent, which I think is just awesome. I wish more people would do that. I really do. Ah, Joe, body cams are great. It's well, that's just the adult clip. You forget you got it on and you take a piss. Then we get to see the little Vitali. Lord Beagle. Oh, he's nailed it. Yeah, common sense is no longer common. Oh, amen to that. You know, I speak to some people and they're not even in this. This is people out and about that I know and or I meet up with, and I just they say things and they do and I just look and shake my head. I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. And it's terrible, God forgive me. There was this one woman that we knew. She was dumber than a box of rocks, guys. And it's just awful to say. And I don't normally say that about people, but this woman had that label stamped on her forehead. She was the kind of person to literally had to draw a picture so she could and there was nothing wrong with her, just no common sense. Whew, it was scary. It was scary. Let's see. I hate word bank devices, both the software and the hardware version. But it would be cool if the device could word out what it hears, kind of like a voice recorder showing words it thinks it hears. Yeah, see, like I said, I had that one experience with that one application. Very first time I used it. And I have said this story. I've told people this story. You guys have heard this story. First time at the location, first time I downloaded it on the way there. I go, I'm going to try this. Turned it on, didn't interact, just left it on the dining room table. And it said the one name, Charlie. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, interesting. And I shut it off. And I asked the woman who Charlie was, and she told me her brother that just passed away. Now, that's my question. And everybody goes, oh, coincidence. How is it that, come on, out of the hundreds of names that would have been in that word bank, why would it pick that name at that place at that time? That's just too much of a coincidence. I'm sorry. There has to be something there. So that's why I need to go back. I can't go back until the autumn because it's the holiday or it's the summer season. So the place is very busy, so I can't go there until autumn sets in. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Turn it on, leave it on the table, and see what happens. And if it says Charlie again, I'm going to shit myself. When we were at Ed and Lorraine's home, I forgot I had on a body cam, and I told man, do not show that footage when he does his review for members. Like, don't show any of it. Oh, oh shit! I'm gonna have to contact man. See what we got to see what that is. You got popped out there, Susan. Welcome back in. A helmet with 360 camera all the way around it. Oh, doesn't Matt have something like that? Isn't I could be wrong, Joe. Doesn't Matt have something cameras and stuff like that on his helmet? I die laughing every time he puts it on because he looks like one of those. Oh my God, what the hell? That one movie there, Storm Ranger or something like that. It's not Stormtrooper. It's that other thing from another movie. I laugh. I'm sorry. But if it's helping him out do his thing, then go forward with it. You stepped out for a bit. No. You've got to hang out. But what if a spirit doesn't know they are moving anything? It just happens. Another good question. Another good question. Oh, we could just pile on the question after question after question and then just speculate what the hell's going on. And then I think we just go with just the most logical explanation, you know? Chaos, a chest mount camera on your back, glasses with camera attached. That way, when you turn and the camera turns, yeah, so you get all of it. I agree with Lord Beagle. I agree with it. You just got to load it up and just blur out the other stuff when you have to use the restroom. But I don't know. Oh, well, no, see, you could use that footage for OnlyFans. There you go. That's what's going on. If a spirit takes our energy, I'd like to know how. To me, that's just weird. Another good question. How do they take it? Are we being touched? Are they coming into us? Are we being taken over so that they can suck us dry? I don't know. See, it's really strange. Like, now, anybody that's ever been touched during an investigation, and I have a couple of times, there is a strange feeling. It's like a tingling, cold tingling experience. It's really weird. I mean, that's what I felt. It's just like like when your hair stands up on end and like on the back of your neck, and just a really strange experience. Lord Beagle, I'm fat. I don't want to carry more weight. The cameras are very lightweight. Joe is certainly way too open. The stories I have. Oh, we got to get together, Lord Beagle. You got to give me the scoop on the Vitali. I'm teasing, Joe. I may not look it, but I am 300 pounds. No way. No way. No way. Are you really? And how tall are you? Hamster wheel is spinning, but the hamster is dead. Oh, geez. Oh, I know. Whew. That woman was scary. I just couldn't believe that somebody I mean, how else are you going to say dumb? Like I said, there was nothing wrong with her mentally or physically. She was just like blank. Yikes. Maybe a prototype to detect farts without thermal. If it works, it could detect spirits. Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you guys had just come in before. You didn't hear me say it before. I caught a glimpse of it. I believe it was on Facebook. We got to believe Facebook. But anyway, something about that there was a new SLS program or something out, and somebody was playing a clip. Have you guys heard about this? They're still trying to push that SLS crap. I don't want anyone to see my wiener. I'm a grower, not a shower. That's all right. As long as you know what you're doing with it. You're a professional, Joe. So we have no worries there. We honestly don't know how much energy spirit needs. It is true. They need it from electrical devices. And we're an electrical device. I mean, that's what we are. So is that what they're doing? That's what we all say. Hey, as long as you know how to work it, that's all that matters. People say spirits drain batteries. You know what? I gotta believe that, because how many times I've been somewhere and Joe and all the rest have been somewhere. You've got a fully charged stuff. You start filming and it's dead like in a minute. You're like, what the frick just happened? I've never played that recording for you guys when I went to that way out of the way um, cemetery that my husband and I found in the middle of nowhere. And it has to do with the Revolutionary War, the people that are buried there. And I was filming and I wanted to do recording and yeah, fully charged equipment. It was not even 2 minutes. But you hear me on the recording swearing. It's like, what the F and flip and flap? And I was so pissed. Drove all that way and dead batteries. And I planned on going back to that, but it's one heck of a trip. Just because the seasonal road is one of the worst roads I've ever been on. So it takes forever to go down it. They usually only use that road for like ATVs and stuff. And I mean, we've got a big truck, thank God, because we probably would have disappeared in one of the potholes. But and it's all trees. You're in the forest, and then all of a sudden there's this clearing, and that's where all the stones are. And it's monitored by cameras because of vandals, but they take good care of it. But it's really strange how the batteries went dead. My brother was told to shut up from the word bank device. I told him they're probably tired of his questions. Could be. Well, the latest when I was doing some experiments with one of the apps, letting it just run, not interacting with it, and it was telling me how much it enjoyed that I was visiting with them and they really liked it, and I wasn't answering or saying anything. I was just letting it run while I was doing something else, and apparently it got mad and told me to F off. So, well, it's the way it goes. No, it doesn't have 360 camera issued, a 360 camera, but they're horrible. Low light situation, they would have to modify, and that's not exactly possible. Oh, okay, see, I thought he have something on there. I'd like to see someone come up with a Paravision device, unless it's out there. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if that's out there. Like I don't use equipment. If I had it, I would use it just to do the experiments. But I would never base any of my investigations solely on those results because that's all just up in the air stuff. It doesn't matter how many cameras we have on us. Doesn't matter how much equipment we have. It never is gonna be good enough. You know what? You're right, Joe. That is the bottom line because there's always going to be somebody that's going to just say, "Oh, come on," or pick it apart. That's the thing. So then when you throw out an experience to somebody, or you put it on here, and then you get the naysayers, and then well, it was this, it was that, it was and then you're in your own head saying, well, no, that's really not what was going on. But okay, if that's what you think. Okay, Joe, you have a good time. Enjoy the program. I'll have to catch it later. Yes, I am 300, but stand at 6'4", so it evens out. But you don't even look like you weigh 300 pounds. I see my son is 6 foot and he's close to the 3 mark. My son's a big dude, but I mean, you're a big guy, but you don't no way look like you weigh 300. Hello, Wayne. How are you? Laura, buy me an optical spectral device and a spectral meter. Oh, please, honey. I'm trying to get updated recording equipment and equipment to do better streaming. I had to resort to, doing the old, begging on for donations to help me get the new updated stuff. The stuff I had was out of date. The soundboard burned up. So it's, but if I had it, I would share and I would get you one. I always hear someone walking in my house. How is spirit walking? There you go. How are they getting that sound? How are we hearing that sound? Because one of my very first experiences as a kid was, the heavy footsteps, and no joke, guys, the jingling sound of chain and metal, and and it was in a castle. Freaked me out as a kid. And it was heavy, like heavy footsteps. And the story is that the woman that owned the castle was the one that was they were referring to her as poltergeist. And there was many other things that happened in that place. So it was very, very interesting. I would have loved to have been able to go back as an adult to investigate there, but unfortunately, it fell in disrepair. We weren't allowed to go in there, and then somebody just bought the property because I was going to go back again. Oh, actually, I did go back again last summer, just to do some filming and maybe just set a recorder out and see what I could pick up, because the partial part of the castle was still standing. Somebody purchased the property and put up an electrical fence and a barbed wire. And I think what they did was they bought the property, demolished the castle, and they used the property for a marijuana farm. I think that's what's called. Because why else would you put up an electrical fence? Posted signs everywhere, and yeah, I wasn't going to go hopping through the woods and go to jail just for some recording. So, and I was just really heartbroken by that. I back. Baby needed a bath. Okay. Fresh baby toes. Welcome back, Ryan. Good question, Betty. But I've heard walking before, including something being dragged loud enough to wake me up at a location. Yeah, see, where are they getting? Yeah, where's this energy coming from? Again, are they taking it from us while we're sleeping? Energy. Well, in my or if the house has a functional electricity, are they using that? All possibilities. Yeah, I think that's what it was. They turned it into a marijuana farm because it's legal here in New York State. So I think it's a grow farm. That's why they had all the electrical fence and all. Oh, it was just, you couldn't even pull into like the driveway. I was like, what the hell? Oh, I was so crushed. I was like, well, so much for that. That part of history gone. I mean, we've had stuff here. Well, it happens a lot here. There's walking in my attic, and it's usually 3 o'clock in the morning. And anybody that ever stays over and sleeps in our living room will ask me in the night, who the hell's in your attic at 3 o'clock in the morning? And I just kind of giggle and say, oh, don't worry about it. It's all right. I know what's going on up there, but and and it's always 3 o'clock in the morning. So apparently that's the witching hour, 3 a.m. There's been a lot of things that have showed up here in our house. And I think, well, if I didn't have the rule, don't investigate in your own home, I would so just do it all up, because there's been dark shadows in the doorways, and that's been seen by the kids. Hey, Kenny, there's Kenny Biddle. Some good questions, Kenny. Hey, Kenny, I'm asking everybody in the audience. I'm turning the tables tonight. What do you think investigators need to do to improve investigations and improve ways of collecting data? 1, 2, 3, go. We have a dead man walking around these streets. Crazy area to live in. Wayne, you've got all kinds of stuff going on in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. In Wayne's neighborhood. Let's see. All right. Wayne's sucking up to Kenny, the man, the myth, the legend. So it's what is it, Wayne? You owe money or something? Just kidding. He is a legend. Very smart man. Very nice man. So yeah, turning the tables, letting you guys speak your piece. And if you want to join in, the link is pinned at the top. Betty says mine is in the back bedroom and bathroom, also in my bedroom. It's weird. Yeah, most of the dark uh, shadow figures have showed up actually downstairs in my father's flat. My niece has seen a full size, just dark shadow in the kitchen area in the doorway. My father has seen a child and a woman because he was kind of like did a double take. Like he thought it was me and my niece. And he's like, what the hell? And, you know, so there's some weird stuff. And I've never investigated any of it. So that's a big question. It is a big question, sir. Come on. Kenny's got the answer. Lead us, Kenny. Lead us. I cannot be contained. Hey man, the floor is open. Open, ready for anything. See, that's why I love this because we're getting ideas and all of your questions out there, all of the things that you would like to see the investigators do. And it's kind of funny how it's always the same thing. People want to see investigators do something different. Find a different way. Why are ads interrupting your lives? Because I'm monetized, so I get paid. The ads help pay the way. Sorry. I'm curious, is x-ray machines could possibly be used? There are different types. Good question. Actually, Kenny's in here and Pam's not here. See that? I don't know if you answered this for Pam before. She had come up with a question. What if somebody used a Geiger counter during an investigation in certain locations? Would it give you any kind of information? I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. So let's see. Personally, I've looked into the or photography. It could be awesome if we could get that to work at a location. X-ray lens have been used in the field. Parasolo. Oh, give me 5 minutes and I'll come on if that's okay. That's fine, Kenny. Sure. Come on, come on down. And see, Steve has used various types. Come on down, Sir Kenny. So see, and that's there, Steve. Now you've got to share that information with everyone. What kind of data did you collect off of using that? Again, I still think it would be great if we could have a central hub where everybody could share this information. And I know Steve has talked about it, and others have talked about it. Friday House has talked about it. We have one main area. If it's a group here on YouTube or a private group outside of the YouTube world, to add and discuss all of this data that's being collected, and then pick it apart. I mean, just pick it apart so that people can understand. Explain it to the lay people. What the reason was for doing this, what that data means that you've collected. So, Ace has got to go. Bye, bye, bye. Victoria, bye, baby. Oh, get a room, guys. Get a room. Oh, no. Have a great night, Ace. Thanks for joining. The original Sony digital high camcorders had them until they were banned. They were banned? Wow. Oh, I gotta see. My father's got an old camera. I gotta see what it is. Because that's actually, believe it or not, Steve, I mentioned this before, and I don't know if you had heard me say this. When I was a kid, and that's when I had my first experience in that castle, my aunt was the caretaker of the castle. My father had bought a brand new camera, a camcorder. Filmed the whole outside, all the gardens, the grounds. It was beautiful. Went inside, filmed everything inside. All of that turned out black. None of that showed up on film. What the heck was that deal? I don't know what happened. He doesn't know what happened because he was pissed. There was nothing wrong with the camera. So what the hell happened? When you've got the total outside worked beautifully, and then you walk through the doorway and start filming and it all turned black. And we used to joke around and say, well, the ghost just didn't want you filming her house. You didn't get authorization. But he still has that camera. I'll have to have him dig it out. And it still works. The only thing is that the player that we have that you play the tapes on the film doesn't work. I have some samples on my personal YouTube channel. There you go. So Steve, those guys want to check it out. Steve catches some great stuff. I had one of those, some of the old tapes. I have got some cool stuff on them, and abandoned Paul Denver Asylum, some Ouija board stuff too. Why did they ban them? Do you know? Well, Steve, you should know. Why did they ban them? Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the one you were talking about? If you film somebody, it kind of had like X-ray vision. You could see through people's clothing and stuff. Is that the camera? I think were we just talking about that? I think we're just talking about that. And it was banned because you could see, it was kind of like X-raying people. Let me know if that's the one you're talking about. I retrofitted an old Sony High-A with a low light X-ray lens. Steve's doing like some mad scientist stuff. All right. Lori, you'll have to share the link. Oh, that's true. That's true. Are any of my mods in here? I think my mods are here and they're lurking. Could you share Steve's link for me, guys? Please, please, please. With sugar on top. Betty said she just heard a noise and jumped. Uh-oh, we're giving her the spooks. I'm sorry. We're giving her the spooks. I think my mods had stepped out on me. Let me see if I can grab it quick. There's that. And it is loading. And there it is. And I'm going to put it in. There we go, guys. Oh, there you go. There's Susan. I beat you to it, Susan. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's a link for Steve's page. Oh, and there's Wayne. I thought all my mods took off on me. You guys all went on vacation? That's it. I'm docking your pay. No cookies for you this week. Sorry, I had to step away for a moment. Okay, that's not a problem. I get it. People got things to do. You got things to do. Oh, okay, Kenny, I'll send it to you. Hold on, quick second. I did have it pinned at the top. I don't know if it's still there or not, but I'll send it to you directly. There's Mr. Biddle right there. There, I sent it to you in chat, sir. That's 10 weeks in a row. I have Momster that needed a lot of attention. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I know. Mom, we got to take care of mom first. Be careful of that finger. You don't want to resprain that again. It's going to take forever for that finger to work. Pretty soon it'll be permanently standing straight up. You'll be flipping off people for the rest of your life because that's the way it's going to stay. Be like, what the hell, Sage? I mean, jeez. Sorry. But now I totally understand. There's Kenny. Let's get Kenny on there. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey there. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Busy. Always busy.
Always busy.
But,
So I don't bother you because I know you're busy.
Oh, and you know what? I don't mind being bothered if it's something worthwhile to be bothered about.
Oh, I got you there.
Like some people will reach out and be like, "Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing?" "I'm working. What's up? Can I help you?" And they're like, "No, just wanted to chat. It's like people that I don't really know.
Right.
And I try to be nice because it's like, okay, what is there a question? What can I help you with? And it's like, no, they just want to hang out.
Yeah, just hang out with Kenny. That's all right.
I mean, I'm not that fun.
We think you are, and you're always so nice and pleasant. So I
try.
They want to hang.
I try.
So what I did was I turned the tables tonight and I threw the questions out to the audience about how investigators can improve what they're doing on investigations.
Okay.
And we're getting some really interesting options here. But like one of the, and again, Cree had put out the thing where everybody's saying they want everybody to go towards the more scientific route. But her not being scientifically minded, she wants people to show her what they mean by scientific.
Okay. So I guess a basic description would be when you're dealing with science, first if you have a situation, and this is the difficulty here. This is such a broad topic. Every so-called investigation is different. It doesn't always need to have readings from certain things. I mean, some is just they're basically practical effects. So when you think about movies and TV and digital CGI kind of effects versus practical effects, when they have models and they build sets and stuff like that, sometimes it's just a practical effect that is being misinterpreted. So in order to go in, you have to have a claim. Like, what are you dealing with? What are they saying happened? And are they making a specific claim about it? All right. So get the description of the event, the experience, and then is there a claim that goes along with it? Because somebody can see a shadow. Like you can be in this room, and I could turn around and I could see a shadow move across the doorway. That's an experience. But if I go to you and come on this podcast or this show and tell you that was a ghost, now I just made a claim.
Right.
So in science, there's something called the burden of proof. And that means the burden of proof is on the one making the claim. So if I tell you that was a ghost, it's up to me to provide sufficient evidence to back up that claim. That's the very basic part of science. And then you start going into it like, all right, you get a description. What happened? Let's test it. You know, is there anything that goes, any lights that shine out there somewhere that would create a shadow? Is there any statues that might block light that goes by, like windows that are on the far end? Or there are people walking around with flashlights? Is there a faulty light? And these are the practical kind of effects that I'm talking about. You know, look for normal things that's happening, that's part of the building or the house or the environment, and see if that solves that mystery. If you're going to say, hey, you know, like if you make a claim of, I had an EMF reading that coincided with me seeing what I think is a ghost, what I perceived as a ghost, and then you claim later that ghosts affect the EM spectrum. Now, again, that claim is up to you to support. So you would have to test the environment, get a baseline reading, which means, at least for EMF, and let me step back here, you have to know what readings you were getting, what meter you were using, because most of your EMF readings or meters do not read the electric field. You know, we're talking about the electromagnetic field, but most of them only measure the magnetic field. When you get milligauss, that's a magnetic reading. That's not an electric field reading. You would have to have a meter that gives you volts per minute in order to get an electric reading. So that's something people need to understand. And then you have to establish a baseline, which means weeks and weeks, months. I always go with a year. You need at least one full year of constant monitoring with data loggers that will take several samples per second. Like 50 to 100 samples per second is great, but somewhere around there. But that's for a full year. And the reason we do that is because you want to make sure that you have all the changes in that environment accounted for.
Right.
So, like for here, this is an office building. Okay, this is my office. There's an office building out here. There's people that come by throughout the week, through weekdays. Usually in the weekends, we sometimes have events, sometimes we don't. So you're going to have the difference between night and day. You're going to have people being in here, how many people are in here during the day. We have people that work from home. So sometimes we have 5 people in here. Sometimes we have 20 people in here. So your temperature, your electricity use, your sounds, your movements, your vibrations caused by people's footsteps and door slamming and stuff like that is all going to change with those variations. You need when it gets colder at night, you need to account for that, because now you're going to have either the heat or the AC turning on.
Right.
What's the difference there? If somebody has a window open, that makes a big difference. So one of the things that I always talk about is having a controlled environment.
Right.
Which means you have control over everything in that environment. Because when you do an experiment, when you set up an experiment to test something specifically, you need to be able to change one thing at a time, so that you can, any changes in your end result, you can say, well, we only changed one thing. We'll change it back. We had a different result again. Great. We know that this is a dependent variable. We know the outcome depends on what we do with that one change, that one variable.
Right.
If we change something and nothing happens, okay, we know that that doesn't do anything. The end result is not dependent on that. So we keep going. We change different things. So when in the case of a EMF claim, which is right now, it's tribal knowledge throughout the community. EMF has never been proven to have anything to do with the paranormal at all. So if we're going to try to test that and provide evidence of that, we need to have that 1 year, at the very least, baseline of one area where people say or claim that stuff happens. Have that baseline and then look for anomalies. So you'd have to go for a full year. Then after that year is done, now you start looking for anomalies within that base pattern that you have. And then if you have that anomaly, Now you have to understand what caused that. Now we have to dig in. Okay, what was happening at that time? That's why we need so many samples per second, every second of every minute of every hour of every day,
Right.
in order to track it down. You need that chain of custody in order to know exactly what was happening in the environment at that time. This is a very basic kind of it's called Barney style way of breaking it down, what part of the scientific method is. And that is difficult. That little bit that I just described is difficult to do. And you don't see this in our community. It just doesn't happen because it takes too long. It's too hard. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
To do. So when we talk about science, like, again, when I go out to a location, depends on the claims that are being made. That's what determines like what I bring along with me, what I want to test, how I'm going to test it, and if I need to bring in other people or other instruments in order to test something, because it's just, there's so much. And when you asked about like, come on and explain what we can do better, and I said this is a big question, it is a big question because it is so much more. There's so much. It goes well beyond the scope of any one or even a series of shows, live streams or TV shows, whatever. So because there's so much, and I understand like there's beliefs and people have their beliefs and they're strongly invested in their beliefs. And I guess if you make that a disclaimer and say, hey, this is what I believe, that's okay. That's you do you, but I'm not going to base anything that I'm going to consider on your beliefs, because belief is basically acceptance without evidence.
Yeah.
What it comes down to. And that's not insulting. That's just the way it is.
I agree with you. I've always told people that, you leave the beliefs at the door.
Yes. Yeah.
I know it's hard to do, but you contaminate the investigation when you're bringing the beliefs into that investigation.
Right. You start imparting your beliefs onto the environment and the people involved.
Yeah.
And that's giving it a different perspective without evidence to do so.
Right.
And you can, who knows what's going to come out of that? I mean, that's why we have so many groups that go into places and say, that come out and confidently say, yeah, that place is haunted. And that's where like a big disagreement comes in a lot, because I can go to the same place and I can test everything and say, well, there's nothing in here that says it's haunted. I don't think it's haunted because nothing happened.
Right.
And I mean, I did all the tests. I recreated things under the same conditions. I showed, if I can show that it was done by people, and it didn't need any kind of supernatural intervention, then again, the burden of proof shifts on the one saying that it is haunted, because I've provided all the burden of proof on my side saying, no, it's not haunted. I tested all those claims. It didn't turn out. And I mean, if we default to the excuse of, well, ghosts aren't going to perform, just for you, or they don't perform all the time. Unfortunately, that's just an excuse. And it's a way to dodge the question or dodge the issue. And again, I'm not trying to be mean. It's a convenient excuse. So when that's used, again, you don't even have proof of that. You don't have proofs that ghosts are there. You don't have proof that ghosts interact with people. You don't have proofs that they just decided they weren't going to interact with me at that time.
Right.
These are all just, like, I'm going to say this because, I want to. I know that sounds harsh. And I'm sure people that have deep-seated beliefs are going to disagree, but
right.
Again, like, I'm going to approach it from a scientific point of view. I'm going to approach it from questioning everything. I don't just accept claims. I don't accept what you tell me just because you told me.
Right.
I need to see it.
Oh, excuse me.
You all right?
Yeah, just dry throat. Go ahead.
You know, a
I'm
little rum,
joking.
a little rum cures that. That's what
I don't
do.
have any.
Oh,
Excuse me, I gotta get me some. Yeah, just pour it right through the speaker. It should give it to me. Actually, Girly has a question. She goes, "So does EMF levels affect people, like make them see things or no?"
So this is an interesting concept because it was something that was put out there by what's his name, gentleman that developed the God helmet. Let me look it up real quick. Who invented the God helmet? Because he did experiments. Michael Persinger. That's it. I beat Google. I remembered. So he developed this. It was a motorcycle helmet, and it was like a 1970s motorcycle helmet where he installed solenoids that they could turn off and on in specific patterns. So you could wear it and it would turn off and on all these solenoids around to create certain patterns at certain levels of electromagnetic frequency, a magnetic force. And doing so, the issue was that he reported that he got results. Other labs had recreated it. Some got mixed results. Some got no results. Some people did report having this sense of a presence in the room, while other people sensed or had this sense of themselves, almost like it's been described. And Susan Blackmore, who was a parapsychologist, and she's really, really cool. I love her. She's really interesting.
Right.
She did a talk where she underwent this, and she described it as playing a video game where you see your character on the screen, but you're seeing from their point of view, but like just behind them. She said, that's what I felt, that my body was in front of me and my consciousness was just behind it, and that she could reach out and touch her own body.
Oh wow.
Which is kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to find a lab that still does this kind of testing, or when it comes up, if they ever do it in the future, to please contact me, because I want to partake in this experiment. I want to see what that experience is like.
Yeah.
But when we're talking, like, that experiment dealt with specific strengths, specific frequency patterns that were right on your skull. I mean, you're talking about the Happy Days, the Fonz, his kind of helmet.
Right.
That big, real small, kind of form-fitting to the head, that had the solenoids attached to the helmet. So I'm sorry, they're cutting the lawn behind my, if you hear
I
that.
can't even hear it. They're
Okay,
all right.
good. So yeah, that's the situation. In a lab setting, your EMF in your household isn't strong enough. We have to remember that the field strength, when you have your meters, I'm looking around to see if I have one. I know I had one. Oh, there it is. So your meter, when you get this reading, if you have a source, I'm going to try and demonstrate this for you without breaking anything. Let's see if you can see that. All right, so I have a fan here. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you might be able to see there. I'm going to try and make it so that you can see it. So it is backwards for you, but right now, I'm going to put it right up to it. It tapped out, so it bottomed out. It tipped the scale.
Right.
All right, so if I come off a little bit, now I'm about 4 inches.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so you see it popping up. So that's 190 milligauss. Okay, and that's how far away I am. Now I want you to try to watch. I'm going to try and do this so you guys can see it. As I move away slowly, watch it drop. They're
Yep.
8, 7, 6, 3. Okay. So 2. Oh, all right. Yeah. So that was 2.1. Okay. 1 point something, 0. This is how far I am. Okay. That's not a lot. That's about 2 feet, 2.5 feet
Right.
from a source that maxed out this meter. So the lesson here is that when you have a source, the field drops off. The field strength drops off significantly as you move away. So if you sleep in a bed and your alarm clock is like 2 feet from your head, you're not getting a lot. And that's certainly not giving off anywhere near what this fan is.
Right.
I use the fan because this is a rotating magnet. Inside, it has a rotator, and it literally used magnetism to rotate that fan motor. So you literally have a magnet that's going around another magnet and creating this huge field. Those EMF pumps, you know what they are? They are a toy magnet. Those little magnets you get in hobby shops.
Right.
It's usually one on a toy motor, like a little motor for like an electric toy car.
Yep.
That just spins the magnet. That's all it does.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
It's ridiculous how simple it is. So it's easy to create that field, but even in like your wiring, your appliances and stuff, the fields aren't strong enough. They're not doing anything to you. There's no harm. So if we look at like the World Health Organization and their standards on EMF in the household versus the workplace, I mean, you literally have to be one of the high power line, high voltage power line workers in order to have any risks associated with you.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about sleeping next to your alarm clock or like a white noise generator or anything like that. It's not going to make you see things. It's not going to make you hear things unless you're using a fan. And then the fan produces that white noise effect. So that's a different story.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about EMF. It's really, there's so much of this just non-supported tribal knowledge that's associated with it when it comes to the paranormal community. That there's no evidence to suggest that, well, one, the very basic level, we have not proven ghosts exist.
Exactly.
I want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
On top of that, there's no evidence that suggests that if they did exist, that they would have any effect, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, on an electromagnetic field, which means that they couldn't manipulate it at will. So that knocks out your meters communicating with them, because you know the meter will go up when you ask questions. It knocks out your REM pods. It knocks out any of the gadgets that claim to be not random word generators.
Right.
They are random word generators, because it most of them claim in the specs to depend on EMF, and they do not. And even if you could, I mean, think about it. Just the very basic question of, can you make this meter jump?
No.
Okay, just from yourself, like not using any magnets or no tools
Right.
or anything,
Yeah.
just yourself, just like,
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not having it.
you can't. So the idea or the basic belief that when you die, if you become a ghost, you suddenly have this ability to do so, that is strictly a belief. That is not something that's proven or accountable for. So I wouldn't worry about EMF.
There you go. So actually, well, they're saying in the chat, they're talking about here saying that to get a list of locations investigators can go to, a list of data that you want is the way you have to manipulate teams to bring in data. So actually what they're asking is about what kind of list would you make up for an investigator to start from step one and forward?
So just like
The
going
base-
into a place.
Yeah, the basic list of what they should be doing and what do you think would give any kind of benefit to the investigation.
I would say the best thing that you can do is first and foremost research the place. I know there's that argument that some people don't like researching it. My camera's off. I got to put it back. It's freaking. It's messing with my head. Now I'm centered. Yeah, there's a debate of, I want to go in cold. I don't want to know anything, because if I come out and I have an experience, I can, that's validation. No, it's not. It's not validation, because we are all in this community, and you can't tell me that you don't listen to podcasts or live streams with the paranormal, that you haven't read books on the paranormal, that you haven't watched the videos on YouTube on the paranormal, you haven't seen commercials or watched the TV show. You might have heard something about it. All right. So don't get hung up on that I'm going to go in cold thing, because chances are you're not. So research it. Understand what the claims are, because if you're not going in there looking at the claims that came before you, what are you doing? You're ghost hunting. You're just looking for anomalies. That's what you're doing. You're anomaly hunting, to be honest. Hallucinating. That's good. But you need a purpose. I mean, if you're going to call yourself an investigator, you need something to investigate. These are the claims. These are the mysteries. So find out what's being claimed is happening in that house, that location, and go from there. I usually make a list. I write down or cut and paste all of the claims that I see being made. And that's from YouTube videos, books that I have on the shelves behind me, and all that stuff. I make a list, and then I break that list into two: testable claims, non-testable claims. What can I test? What's possible? Like, what about that experience can I go in there and say, well, I can set this up, the same conditions, and we can see if it happens. And that's something like as simple as a door opened when someone walked down the hallway. So you close the door, you keep going back and forth, you're walking, because it might be a floorboard that flexes when you step on it in just the right spot.
Right.
It causes that door to pop. It might take you 2 or 3 times. It might take you 100 times. But understand, that's what it takes, because we're investigating. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. It might be as difficult as, hey, we gotta take measurements. We gotta wait until the temperature changes in the room, because maybe it does get so cold in this room that the door contracts within that door frame. And sometimes it's just a hair that it needs to contract, and then it'll pop. Right. It'll pop out. So that's the kind of thing. That's why it's important to take really good notes, because that's getting to another step. Aside from the claims and researching them and making sure if you can test them or not, you have to take good notes on everything you do. So if you're taking readings, like take temperature readings. I think that's important, because you need to know, all right, if it's 60 degrees in the house or if it's 90 degrees in the house. That 30-degree difference can have a major effect on doorways, windows, the floorboards, everything that can expand and contract during temperature changes. So we need that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
And then you also need to know how many people are in there. What's the temperature inside versus outside? Because that's important too. If you have the heat on full blast inside a house, and then it's cold as hell outside, you're going to have things like condensation on the windows. You might have the creaks and pops that you'll hear in the walls or the floors, because there's a constant struggle between the two temperatures. And then what happens when the heat kicks off and it starts to cool down? Right. You're going to have pops and stuff. So it's good to keep a track of all that. Temperature, when the heating system kicks on and off, what time. If I find gaps in the windows, I like, one of my major tools is a tape measure. I love my tape measure.
Yep.
I'm always have. I have. It's a weird habit of mine. I collect these. So
We do too. Don't feel bad. I thought.
okay. I mean, I have.
I'm
I
glad
think
I'm not the only one.
I have this one. I have. Let me see. I have another one. Yeah, I have this larger one. So I have this one in my tool bag. I have this one for 100 feet. And then I think currently on my toolbox in my garage, I think I have like eight different ones
I'm
just on the
glad I'm
top.
not the only one.
Yeah, I just collect them and I take them
Levels
with me.
too. Do you collect levels? Like,
Level,
yeah, I do too.
level. I collect them.
Okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
I mean, the smaller ones I usually engrave and I send them out. And I got that idea from Beardo because
Yeah.
his whole spirit level
The
issue,
spirit level.
his little incident, you know. And
When he told me he didn't know how to read a level, I'm thinking, are you serious? No.
like, what kind of man are you? You don't know how to. Where's the bubble?
Right.
The bubble.
When he said that, I was like, come on, are you joking? No.
I was watching live and I was here when it happened, and when he said, like, oh, look at the bubble, it's on this side, so that means this side's higher. And I looked up and I'm like, please tell me you didn't say that. And I was texting him like, hey, dumbass.
So you harassed him.
Oh, I harassed the shit out of him. And I mean, I still do once in a while.
Oh,
but
that's funny.
It's all good. I mean, he's a good guy, and we can joke back and forth. So I'm happy we can do that. But yeah, like collecting information, I think is the most important thing. I have notebooks everywhere. There is not a place I don't have a notebook near me. That one. I have the legal pad at my desk all the time with notes on it. I have
notes.
You can't see it, but it's like those are
Books,
all
books. Yeah.
all notebooks there that are filled with every place I've gone. I write down everything, where I'm at, what time, the date, the condition of the house, you know, the exterior, the interior. Is it well kept? Is it run down? Does it need maintenance? Are the paint falling off the walls or bubbling up? Is there mold? Because that's a big deal. Mold is something to be concerned about. A lot of these places. Who's there with me? I take pictures of everyone because there's so many times, and this is a mistake. This is not something people do deliberately, but so many times people have taken long exposures photographs because they don't want to use the flash and disrupt anything.
Right.
And they capture one of their teammates going through the scene. And you can see the clothing, but they're transparent.
Right.
So there's always that argument of like, well, it's transparent. I can see through them. But they're wearing the same clothes as this person because I took a picture of them earlier and this matches.
Right.
So it's them. And then we look at the XF data or the metadata on the camera and find out that it was a long exposure. And there you go. Case solved. But yeah, I take pictures of everyone front and back. I mean, I don't tell them, but I do anyway.
No, but they look good.
You need, is that a tri-field? No, it's a Lutron. It's a single axis. I have the tri-fields. I have the both out in the lobby because I have used them. But yeah, I take pictures of people front and back. I also make sure I talk to everyone and get a recording sample of their voices so that I understand I have something to compare it to. If somebody gets a recording later and they're like, I don't know who said this. Okay, good. Let's at least try to compare and see if we can line it up. So isn't it true if you have faulty wiring or improper grounding, it can raise the EMF in a home? People say my house is haunted. Get it fixed and no more. So if you have faulty wiring, that's more of a general term. It can mean different things. It can mean either you have a wire that's almost broken and it's making uh, um, intermittent contact, so that the wire is broken, and as it heats up, it expands and it goes past each other and you lose connection. That's not going to cause EMF to rise. Again, we're only looking at the magnetic field, which you have to have power running through the wire in order to create that magnetic field. If
Right.
you don't have electricity flowing, there is no magnetic field. It's an electric field. Um, so yeah, there's that. If you have a short, which means like you have a bunch of wires together, say like my fingers are all different wires, and then the insulation here gets rubbed off, and it either shorts to another wire, which can cause havoc by turning the things on and off intermittently
Right.
by itself. But again, that's going to cause the magnetic field in that wire itself. It's not going to raise the entire house. Or you can short the ground, which means that the power is either not going to get to the intended recipient, with like the lamp or the blender or something like that, or you're going to have a wire heat up until it burns. Because if it grounds out and it's allowing power to flow, it's going to be constant heat. It might not burn out right away, but it probably will. And then in that case, you're going to find out real quick because you're going to have a fire.
Right.
But it will not raise the electromagnetic field strength for the entire house, and not even the entire room. If as long as you have power flowing, again, go back to like the fan here. The fan has magnets in it, so it's creating more of a field. But if I just take the wire itself, it's much less. And that's even, oh yeah, it's very little. It's reading high because I'm close to the magnet. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can't see that. But yeah, as I go down the wire should remain constant, but because I'm close to the magnets, it goes up. But as I go away from it, it actually goes down to minimal. So yeah, it won't raise the field. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, I want to just clear up something, Steve. Kenny didn't see the whole statement that you put on, so he wasn't laughing about the boy hallucinating. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it in total, so that I didn't want Steve to think that you were laughing at that. He said that he had a case of a 7-year-old boy who was exposed to low dose EMF for several years that began to hallucinate, and they found out it was due to a fault in the microwave wiring. In the microwave's wiring.
Yeah, who found that?
Steve. Steve from Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Okay. That doesn't make sense. Because if there's if it's faulting in the microwave oven, then you're going to either have it working or not working, turning on when it's not supposed to. But that would only be when you're around the microwave. And the microwave itself is a Faraday cage. It's an imperfect Faraday cage, but it keeps the microwaves in. And I've had EMF meters right up against the front of a microwave. And unless you rotate it around, you get a reading, but not a lot. Honestly, you are around low dose EMF all the time. The microphone you're using, the monitors that you're using, the lights that you're using, every time you use your computer, your phone, any fans, air conditioners, kitchen appliances, you are around low level EM fields because you have electricity flowing and it's creating that magnetic field. Very true. EMF can make a person sick or hallucinate. Be careful. That is not true. Careful around things like EMF generators. That's not true. I mean, if you have published academic peer-reviewed papers that say otherwise, I'd like to see them. But this I've never come across. So I don't agree with this statement.
Okay, so then we got welcome in everybody that popped in. I didn't get a chance to say hello. I'm sorry. Fredo says, also humidity will have effect, especially on wooden doors as they swell with moisture.
Yes.
We have that all the time in my house. When our seasons change, our house shifts. So you're gonna get like where the bathroom door will open easy or it won't.
Right.
The
Right.
back door, our downstairs back door, you have to. And some seasons we have to lift it up so that the lock will connect, so that the door will lock. And then other times it's perfectly, level with each other so that the door will lock.
Right.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, humidity, high humidity. Yeah. Depending on your house, the doors, the materials, how worn they are, yeah, what they're made of. You have the old wooden doors. Yeah, that's going to suck up the moisture and swell. Same with windows. Older windows will swell up to where you try to open them and you can't.
yeah, that's fine.
Stuck.
That's
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Along with temperature, humidity is good, especially when it calls for it. Like if you don't have any claims of doors sticking or windows sticking, then you might not need that. I mean, that might be a second visit. If you have claims, I always base what I bring. Let me rephrase that. My initial list of things to bring depends on the claims being made. However, I do tend to bring extra stuff, and I leave it in the car because I might need it. I don't know if something comes up, if something develops while we're there. I might need a piece of equipment that I would have been sorry if I left it at home. So I do encourage, bringing more than you need because you never know.
right.
But maybe not take it out of the car until you actually do need it, because that might save you a trip. It might not. I mean, if it doesn't save you a trip, no big deal because you still have it. That's the
Right.
Well,
like you said, based on the claim and what's going on.
Yeah. Because base reading, pictures, video documentation. Yeah, I do a lot of photos. Like one of the first things I do going into a location is I take pictures of everything. I go in, I video. I'll do a video tour. So I'm recording as soon as I get there, walking into the front door, looking all around, go into every room, going into each corner and looking into the room. That way you get everything. If you just pop in a doorway and look around, you might miss stuff. You want to go in, go to the corner, turn around, get a sweep, go to the other corner, get a sweep, and then go out. And then remember to go up and down too. Get the whole floor, get the whole ceiling, get stairways, get closets, alcoves, dumbwaiters, anything that is in there, part of the structure, record it. And I do the same with photos. I'll go in with my camera and start taking pictures of everything. So that isn't what an electrician told me. He was very clear that faulty electrical wiring or improper grounding will raise the EMF. And then he showed me. So I don't understand. It's just not. It won't happen. I mean, if faulty EMF, faulty wiring, if it's powering, if it's getting power when it's not supposed to, you're going to have a reading. But because electricity is flowing, you're going to have that magnetic field. But it's not going to raise the entire field strength of the whole house. It's just not. And he couldn't show you because he would have to be able to show you the whole house at one time or walk around and show you every room compared to base readings. So that's an issue, Cree. Well, I know a working microwave will set out K2 meters when you turn the microwave on. Close. Yeah, you have to get close to it.
So then we got Steve saying this.
Did you copy that from Google?
No, that's
I don't know. That looks like a Google copy and paste. Affects biological and physical rooms. Yes, but not on the scales that you're talking about, that we're talking about. I mean, yeah, we as humans, we have an electrical system. We give off electrical impulses. And it's how nerves communicate with muscles, and muscles retract. So it's a different level than what we're talking about here. So it's a grander scale than what we're talking about concerning paranormal claims. different frequency bands on electromagnetic, distinct levels of interaction. You'd have to show me something on that. I mean, because when you're talking about different bands on the electromagnetic spectrum, you're talking about different things like visible light, infrared, UV, X-rays, gamma rays, radio waves. So, yeah, you can have radio waves that interact with our radio and not us, but I don't know where you're going with this.
See, Steve, you're going to have Kenny on the show. That's all. Oh, here we go. We got Leanne hands on here. She says,
it's like humming and whispering. Then lights went flickering, an odd smell happened. Happened on and off and on. It was a power strip literally burning out and melting. Ooh, yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. So noises like humming and whispering. Yeah, that would be frying the line. Then lights went flickering, losing. Yeah, they're losing connection. An odd smell. And that's the burning smell. Been there. Happened off and on. Yeah, it could be that it was the faulty power strip, and then it finally. I mean, I don't. When you said when it says happened off and on, so I don't know if this is over like a few minutes or a few days or what. But yeah, when it finally went, it melted, and it could have been melting, because if there is an issue where there's excessive power going through a wrong gauge wire.
Right.
Meaning the wire thickness is too thin. If there's too much power going through it, then it heats up too much beyond what it's capable of getting, and then it slowly melts. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's really cool.
Oh, actually, yeah, I just had a cousin who her house just burned down because of an extension cord.
That sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
All because they heard a pop. And her husband's like, what the hell was that? And she goes, I don't know. And he went upstairs to check, and he yells out, because they took care of their granddaughter, grab the baby, get outside, the house is on fire. It was that quick.
Okay.
And that could have been happening for days, and they just didn't know it. And then it finally just let loose, and it was just a really weird popping sound.
All right.
So
let's see. Oh, okay. So I had weird noises. Oh, okay. Yeah. Burning thing. I like the profile picture. That's pretty cool.
Stan, get off her lawn.
I do that all the time. I found myself becoming that old man.
That old man. Well, it makes me laugh when she put that up the first time. I says, you remind me of an old man that it was on our block. And of course, everybody used to harass this poor old man. And he lived in a pink house. So we called him Fat Man Pink. That's what we called him. And every time you stepped on his lawn, he would be screaming off his porch, shaking his cane. You little bastards, get off my lawn. So when I see that, I just burst into laughter, because that's what I remember.
Yeah. I found that it's like like I grew up where a time where like people went to people's houses. So before the internet, before phones, all that stuff, you actually went outside, you walked to someone's house, you knocked on the door,
right?
And we would open it, and we would greet people and invite them in and stuff. And now it's like I see someone like slow down at my driveway, and I'm like, who's that? Yeah. What's going on? And I'm hiding behind the couch. Like,
right. Who the hell's that?
Who's that? Who's that? And my dog's like right up next to me, like, yeah, you ready? You're gonna bite him. You're gonna bite him.
How times have changed.
Yeah, like really changed. And I feel bad. Like I laugh at myself, because I'm like, I'm such a grumpy old man.
We just don't socialize like we used to. Not outside of the house.
Right. Oh my goodness. Interacts primarily with nervous. Yeah. I'm sorry, like this just reads like it's off of Google. So it's just statements. So I'm not making an argument against you either way, but I don't know where you're going with this.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, gotta have him on the show so that you guys can discuss this. Let's see here. Wayne says actress Lucille Ball claimed to hear radio stations via her fillings. How would that be possible?
So I've heard that.
Me too.
But I could never confirm it. So I heard about Lucille Ball, Lucille Ball, right? Lucy,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like doubting myself. I'm like, wasn't it Lucille? But yeah, Lucy. But I also heard it from somebody else. There was another person that also claimed that, and I don't know if it was Lucille
Well,
Ball.
didn't they use the original fillings? I believe were lead line fillings back in that time. So
Hearing,
did that have something to do with it?
I don't know. I mean, that's honestly, it's one of those. I'm looking it up now because I do remember hearing about that. Let's see, hearing. So yeah, the antenna effect, metal components like old silver fillings or braces can catch strong electromagnetic energy from nearby AM radio broadcast towers. Because AM radio broadcasts they usually pump up the power. It's more than FM.
Right.
Rare physical phenomenon. Again, disclaimer. I'm looking up Google, so take it with a grain of salt. Radio through metal dental fillings is a rare physical phenomenon where metal fillings act as an antenna. Radio waves caused by tiny vibrations and jawbones conduct the sound. I mean, I could see it possibly happening. I'm not a professional in this area, so again, take my what I'm going to say with a grain of salt. But I mean, considering that the way you hear is vibrations going through the tiny little bones in your ear. And that's how we hear and interpret those signals. It'd be interesting. Is there a video? I think there's, because I remember seeing, there is a video. Hold on. Oh no, that's not what I want. I clicked on one that looked like Lucille Ball, and it's some kind of TikTok thing. What the hell? They got me.
Yeah, they did.
They got me. I do remember seeing it. It might have been Lucille Ball. I just don't recall the I don't recall exactly who I thought it was two people, but
yeah, I think there was a man also
yeah
that was having that issue where he would open his mouth and you could hear actual radio station coming through.
Okay. And yeah, I don't know all the details too. Like, was she close to a radio antenna? So I mean, your basic speaker is you have the magnet, the power going to it, the magnet, the cone, and the magnet pulls the other magnet back and forth, creating the vibrations in the air, and the cone helps focus it. And how fast, how powerful the back and forth is creates the different frequencies. So I guess if there was the metal fillings and there was space between the filling and the tooth so that it could vibrate enough, it's interesting. I'm writing this down.
Yeah. Now we've got him. We gave him homework
because I'm curious about this. This is something that I again, like I've known about, but I've never looked into. Where the hell is my pen? There it is. Lucille Ball. And
good night, Betty. Have a great night. Welcome in, Carla. Hi, Jade. Welcome.
So yeah, I agree, Jade. Yeah, I'm describing elements of the scientific method, not the entire method. I mean, the entire method, you don't have to use the entire method sometimes for what we're doing here. I don't know all the details. Yeah.
He will though.
But yeah, I don't know all the. I'm giving you elements of the scientific method, not all of them. Because it's again, like I started this conversation with, that is a broad scope. That's a huge scope and beyond the scope of this show and a series of shows. I mean, there's so much to talk about with that. And I am not a scientist. So I want to make that clear. I am not a scientist. I am a science communicator, but not a scientist. Radio teeth. Yes, I think so. I think you're right. There was an episode of MASH that had that. But let's see. Oh yeah, there's a I don't know if this is it. Hold on. This is I think. Okay, so there's a minute and 25-second clip of Lucille Ball, and it says Lucille Ball's teeth detected secret message. Are you allowed to? You want to play this?
Yeah, I guess we could. Yeah, if you want to
Okay. Can I? Let me see. Can I share this?
share it, I'll pop it up
Let
there.
me see.
We'll
Share.
see what happens. I don't think we'll get in trouble for a
See
minute.
we'll see. I'm sure you'll find out.
Yeah, I'll get flagged.
Let's see. Like this is actually. This should be funny. All right. Let me see here.
I was going up another street, almost home,
Can you hear that?
and I was passing 4 vacant lots that were all raised
Yeah.
so they could build the
Okay.
Birmingham Hospital. And as I went by there, I heard, and I'm picking it up with my teeth.
You mean?
Yes. And I stopped the car. Then I looked around, in the Morse code, like. And I backed the car up, and it got stronger and stronger, and I kept on backing it up until it really got strong, and my whole jaw was vibrating, like this. And then I got the hell out of there. I went boom, like this, because it was very late. And I couldn't wait to get back to MGM the next morning and tell the security office, and they found an underground Japanese transmitting
radio station.
Honest to God.
That is that a great story?
That is weird.
But then they
That is
just
a-
found it was one of the gardeners calling one of his friends.
Oh, now wait a minute.
No,
But
it's
they
true.
really,
Yeah.
and they captured them, and you helped.
I don't know what happened to him. I just turned it over.
Let's have a look at those teeth that helped win the war.
All right. So that, for me, that's something that we can check. We can look into that and see if there was any incident back then, and see if they found anything or arrested anyone or
Right.
uncovered some kind of.
So that's I want to know how that works. Like I said, if I know that they used lead-based fillings back in the day, but it also has a connection maybe with the fluids in your head.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's fascinating. I mean, I don't know. I guess the bones would rattle enough or vibrate enough, and again, like your eardrum area, you have these tiny little bones,
Right.
and they vibrate. So I don't see why not. But again, I don't know.
That's really weird.
I think
It's
if
really
the metal
weird.
fillings could create a diode effect. Oh, maybe, maybe it
Right.
should up significantly strong. I mean, it's interesting. I'm really interested. I wrote it down, so I'm gonna try to look into it tomorrow
So
when I
yeah,
have
that's-
time. It's a cool story, you know. It's
it
really,
is.
I mean, let me see if like it was. Let me see. Video. Did Lucy Ball really discover a spy network?
Through her teeth.
Man, like it's so okay. Oh, Snopes did it. wait, Snopes is on the case. So it says unproven. Familiar trope is the plight of hapless character who, having recently undergone some dental work, because I think that's the issue here, that this is a almost like a folklore, local legend kind of thing,
Right.
like a lady in white or the hitchhiker kind of thing. Many Americans are familiar with this concept of the plot of a classic episode of the sitcom Gilligan's Island. It was on there too.
Yep. You're right.
Gilligan becomes a walking radio receiver after Skipper accidentally pushes a crate into his jaw. So, as Lucy told the story, it took place in 1942 when she was filming the movie Dewberry Was a Lady with Red Skelton. This was during the early days of American involvement in World War II, when residents along the Pacific coast of California lived in dread fear of an imminent attack by the Japanese. Lucy had recently had several temporary lead fillings installed in her teeth And when she drove home from MGM to the ranch she and Desi owned in the San Fernando Valley late one evening, this is what she claimed took place. And then it goes into the story that she just told. When she supposedly recounted the story to actor Buster Keaton at the studio the next day, he laughingly told her that she was picking up radio broadcasts through her feelings and that the same thing had happened to his friend. Nothing more happened for about a week until the evening Lucy took a different route home from MGM. And then she goes on to the story. Let's see. As for the first element, let me see. Oh, but is the story true? That assessment hinges on two elements. Did Lucille Ball really pick up some type of radio transmission through her dental fillings? And did that event lead to the discovery and capture of Japanese spies operating an underground radio station? That would make a great movie. I would
Yeah,
love
it would.
As for the first element, whether dental fillings can really serve as radio receivers remain a subject of debate, with many anecdotal reports asserting that the phenomenon has in fact occurred. Objectively, determining whether this specifically happened to Lucille Ball in 1942 is not possible. But for our sake, we'll note that a letter published in the American Journal of Psychiatry in 1981 documented a case of a patient who received AM radio signals through metal shrapnel that remained in his skull after he suffered a combat wound. Wow. And that goes into a story of a 35-year-old veteran who claimed to, hear radio signals.
Wow.
The second element of Lucy's story is more problematic. Although World War II is perhaps the most documented event in human history, one searches in vain for any confirmation that Japanese spies operating an underground radio station were arrested in Southern California in 1942. And although the FBI maintained an extensive file on Lucille Ball, what?
Wow, really?
What is she up to?
Holy crap.
That ran some 156 pages because she was investigated by the House Un-American Activities Committee. Wow, in 1953 for having registered to vote as a communist in the 1930s. I did not know this.
I didn't either. Whoa. Lucy.
No mention of the alleged Japanese spy incident appears in that file. So it goes on for a little bit, but it's more like it's unconfirmed.
Right.
So, and Snopes is really good and they're really detailed at going into these mysteries like this. So if there's no mention of it in an FBI file, which I just want to read that.
Well, see, I wonder, do we have access to that? It's really weird. Holy crap.
Like if they don't mention it, I'm kind of leaning without evidence because there appears not to be any.
Right.
I'm kind of leaning to that it didn't happen.
It's just a story.
It's a story that she told, and maybe it was something. Maybe it's just something they did. I don't know.
That's right, Sarah. New rabbit hole. Lucy Ball. Oh no.
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. I just learned something. Lucille Ball was a communist.
I had no clue. Wow.
I'm not going to be able to watch that show again.
I know, did it kind of blow your mind?
Yeah. It tainted my childhood.
It just ruined it for him.
It ruined so much. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
That was fun. that was fun. I like that.
Well, apparently she's a communist, Leanne. We didn't know it.
Sorry.
Julie says that she's heard about that for decades. Really?
Really? Oh yeah, I didn't.
I
never looked that deep into it.
No.
So I don't know.
Oh my god.
That's
it's amazing
terrible.
what you find out about, our favorite celebrities.
Yeah.
So actually, okay. I want to appreciate you coming on, Kenny, and
no problem.
Great questions. It's always a pleasure to have you.
No problem.
Final words as far as what do you recommend? Actually, do you believe? Let's get this out there first. Do you think it's worth investigators' time going the scientific route, seeing that they have limited time at locations?
So again, like I think there's a misperception of saying use the scientific method. Like use science when you can, but again, many of the stuff is just practical effects, which is based in science. I mean, but it doesn't have to mean breakout meters and take data for months and months at a time and get independent analysis of that data for patterns and this and that. Sometimes it's just the act of going there and finding a loose floorboard. Like that doesn't take the whole scientific method to figure that out. It's just going on a location and looking at things from a perspective of I'm investigating this specific claim right now. What what could cause it?
Right.
Ask yourself what could cause it. What might happen to make this go off? What did they do at the time when that happened? When that experience happened to somebody? What were they doing? Who were they with? Um, and sometimes you got to think like, was it a big person? Was it a small person? Because again, weight would have a difference. These are all these little questions that come up. Um, and again, it's not science as in I need all the numbers. It's I need this number compared to this number and say, all right, like my son might walk across the floor and you don't hear anything. But my fat ass walks across the floor and it goes crack,
Yeah,
crank,
right.
groan.
Get off of me.
I totally hear that. So I guess it's more about look at it critically, and if you're going the science route, because I mean part of that argument there too is not just use the scientific method. Sometimes it's coming from the other side of like ghost hunting groups or teams are saying we prove with science this is happening. And the problem is that they're not using science to prove it. They're using more pseudoscience methodology, the it's close enough mentality. So I think there's criticism there from people that do claim to use science when they're not. And we have to question that. We have to look at it and say, well, what controls are in place to make sure that that reading you're getting is actually from there? If you walk down a hallway with an EMF meter and it registers something, if you just keep walking and don't bother to find the source, you don't know where that source came from.
Right.
You also don't know if it's two sources. If you have a source on one side and the other side, and you're reading the average of the field, the two fields crossing. What if that's the case? We have to look at all these.
Right.
If you have a reading, follow that reading, find the source. Because when you have a mystery like that, even those micro mysteries or little mysteries, what's causing that high EMF? Find that source. Maybe it's just an appliance. Maybe it's a wire. Maybe it is a wire that's shorting to ground, and you're getting a higher EMF reading in that area than you should.
Right.
Because it's shorting to like a beam or a pipe behind the wall, and you need to get that fixed because that's dangerous. So I don't. I know we went back and forth, and I know some people disagreed with me, and that's cool. That progress is about learning more, and we learn more from disagreeing, because that forces both of us to look at things differently or do a little bit more research. So I don't mind the disagreement. I don't take it personally. And I guess like let's widen our range of understanding. Both of us, I'm not just saying that to the people watching,
Right.
and
Right.
that for me.
All of us. Yeah.
Too. Let's compare things like when we compare EMF strength in the brain to that fan that's over here. There's more power coming from that fan than I'm producing up here.
Right.
If in the way of field strength. So big differences, and we have to compare those differences and acknowledge those differences. So where has the idea of using copper helps with spirit communication come from? I would think that's along the lines of the pseudoscience kind of thing, the more mystical kind of stuff, where like copper heals and like copper bracelets and all that stuff that had the magical healing and stuff. They're
Dowsing rods.
dowsing. I mean, dowsing rods.
Come on, I want to get some and play with them. I want to.
I don't know where the idea that copper helps communication. I think this is the first I'm hearing this kind of a claim that it helps. I mean, I guess the first thing you have to do is actually confirm that you're talking with a spirit. And I mean, if we're using a radio, I mean, there's copper in the radio, but like you're getting radio stations, so you have to block out the radio stations in order to confirm that you're getting some kind of signal from something else.
Right.
And that doesn't even mean that that's a spirit. If you block out the radio stations, but you're still getting a voice, that doesn't mean it's a ghost. You have to determine what the source is. I'm not sure exactly how to do that right now, but I think if we worked on it, if we get to that point, we can work on it. But we have to be able to use a radio. I mean, if that's what you're talking about too. I don't know if they're Parasolo is talking about it like a radio kind of thing. But if that's what you're talking about, we have to separate the radio stations from everything else first. If you're talking about like just recordings, again, we have to determine that it wasn't somebody's stomach, it wasn't somebody whispering,
Right.
it wasn't this and that. So many times, man. And again, I know it's a mistake. I never blame people to doing this deliberately, but so many people whisper when they know they're not supposed to.
Yep.
And it picks it up. The microphones are so sensitive.
They pick up everything.
Yeah. And I mean, if a mouse farts, it picks it up.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful. If you're across the room and you think that thing's not going to hear you, it's gonna pick up something. Especially when you have people will amplify it. Once you amplify that sound, it's going to be louder. These little tiny minuscule sounds are going to be so much louder and so much more intense. It's going to be like, oh, I hear it. Sounds like words. And then we're going to start listening for words. And then we're going to try to make it out. Even if we don't know what it says, we're going to make something happen. And that's why
I don't know if it was Parasola that had mentioned earlier about doing a test with removing the antennas from old radios and seeing what happens. Do you think they would have any kind of effect on removing the antennas?
It'll diminish the signal strength, of course. I mean, it diminished it significantly. I mean, I used to do that back in the day when that was my really bad attempt at being an old man voice. Back in the day when we had our boom boxes, and I still have one. I still have my boom box, but it doesn't have an antenna, and it still works. You have to get the really close stations, but it still works. Or you stick the hanger in it. You take a clothing hanger and you stick part of it in there. Like for me, I was a mechanic, so I stuck a screwdriver in it, and that would usually improve reception. Removing the antenna doesn't mean you lose everything, though. It's going to be bad, but it's you can still get something in, and it depends on how close and how strong. Like I grew up in Philly, so it was a major city. We had radio towers everywhere, so you had really good, strong signals. So I would still get radio stations in, not a lot, but enough. Just curious, I've seen people use copper wire on their portal boxes. I mean, honestly, the portal boxes, it's a gimmick. I don't buy into it. It's a novelty item that I think is really overpriced, and it doesn't give. I mean, it gives you the anomalies that you want. That might not you particularly, but people that are looking for that experience of. They really believe that they're talking to ghosts or that ghosts are talking to them.
Right.
It'll give you that, but there's no guarantee. There's no evidence to support that it is.
That it's actually working.
It's just a marketing thing. And I would advise strongly, don't buy one. Don't waste your money. I would say go buy go buy a level.
There you go.
Go buy a level. Go buy a tape measure. Um, go buy like even something as simple as a ball, not a cat ball, but a ball. There was a real quick, and you stop me if you want to kick me off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't want to overstay. I was at the Dunkirk Lighthouse with my good friend Dawson Toller.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, we didn't kill each other.
He has such a passion. I love it.
We were there together. He invited me to come out because it's only like an hour away from me, and we went there and talked to the lighthouse keeper, who was a super nice guy, awesome guy, like that typical stereotypical grandfather that tells stories.
Right.
Perfect. Dawson was actually getting annoyed at me because I was letting the guy talk. Like, tell me another story. Tell me another story. And he's like, I'm recording it all. I'm going to run out of space. I'm going to run out of battery. Like, I don't care. I want to hear him talk. But the first ghost story that he told us was when they filmed a movie there, which I don't remember the movie, but if you look it up, you can find it easily. It's not that good. It's really, really bad. But there was a young girl, actress, that was waiting to do her scene, and apparently the tour guide gave them like a ball and said, here, take this ball, you can play with it, there's a ghost here, and they will play with you. And she would roll the ball across the floor and it would roll back to her. And she did it a couple times, and then she came back and asked for a second one because there was another child ghost. There was like a girl and a boy that was supposedly there, and she did this all the time. And I went there and talked to him, and the guy's like, yeah, she did it. And I was like, well, is the floor messed up? And he's like, no, if you roll this ball across, it will keep going, it won't come back. And I asked him to show me, and he did. He got down, he got the ball that he said the girl had used. He had the same ball, and he rolled it. It came within a foot of me and then rolled right back to him. And I was like, cool, but the floor's not level. And that's what I did. Brought out my handy level.
Brought out the level.
Put it down, and I'm looking at it, and I think both myself and Dawson have minutes of me, like, over and over again, rolling the ball and getting it. I could actually get it to come to certain spots because the floor was so warped.
Oh, okay.
I could, depending on how I threw it, where I threw it, and how hard, I could get it to rest at a certain spot. Because he also told us, the tour guide told us, that the girl had taken little doilies, the paper doilies, and written yes, no, maybe, and put them on the floor so that the ghost could roll the ball back to an answer.
Oh.
So I did the same thing. And I had pictures, and I did it, and I was able to get it to come back to the same one over and over and over again. So it wasn't a ghost. It was the floor. I did try to reach out to the young lady who was the actress.
Right.
She's a filmmaker now, and she, I think she didn't want to talk about it. And I had asked her, can you just give me a like simple yes or no? Did you actually think this was a ghost? And she was too busy to talk to me. But there's a film festival coming up in 2 weeks, which I'm going to, which she is at. So
you're gonna
try
get
and talk to her. I'm not going to ambush her. I'm just going to go up because she happens to be there. I'm going to go, and if she has a moment, just ask. Like, did you think this was a ghost?
Right.
Like, I want to hear your opinion on it.
It
That's
takes
all.
2 seconds. Yes or no.
Yeah. If she does, okay, that's all I needed to know. If not, okay, that's all I needed to know. Or we can talk about it more. That's great. But yeah, just to get her opinion on it, and if there was other things, like other story elements that were left out,
Right.
I'm getting it from this person that was standing there at the time, sure, but I want to get the girl's perspective too, because maybe she had some detail, or maybe she was doing it and she knew it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was like her, and speculation, maybe she felt bad for the old guy and said, "Oh yeah, it is your ghost." Okay, it is. That's a possibility. I
Could
just want to
be.
ask her.
Yep. Could be.
That's all.
So yeah, let's see.
All right.
So guys, I want to thank you all for hanging out. Kenny, I want to thank you for joining us and
You're
clearing
welcome.
up some of the scientific aspects of the investigation. You're always welcome at any time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's-
And I appreciate everyone in the chat. Again, like, disagreement is part of the game.
Yep.
So I don't discourage it. I think it encourages more conversation and more learning. So I'm all for it.
So that's what we're here to do. We're here to figure it
Yeah.
out and learn. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. And we'll see you all real soon. Don't forget to watch Kenny. Any questions? Ask Kenny. You might not like the answer, but that's what you're going to get.
I might not have an answer.
Right.
Who knows,
So it's
Awesome.
good. I mean, he admits if he's right, wrong, or don't know. So that's
Right.
that's the best part. And we all learn something no matter what we are doing. But you guys always keep an open mind. Use common sense, think it through, and always remember to live life a little bit on the raw side. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.